everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Karabo. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Please don't leave. And if you are a new subscriber, I suggest that you go and watch the first video because I explain what this channel is about. Because I explain what this channel is about. Okay, so to the returning subscriber, obviously you know, as I did promise on my first video, that I'm going to be posting the modules that I'm doing this year, that I'm going to explain why I'm on my third year but doing some of the modules for my second year. Last year when COVID came, I had to adjust my academic year, which means that I had to take some modules and also leave some modules out. So yeah, that is it. That is why. So this year I'm doing 10 modules, and I did say that I'm studying law at Unisa, but I did not say which level. Actually, I'm doing my bachelor's of law in honors, which is LLB. There's BA, which takes 3 years. It's just an undergrad, and then there's BCom. Yeah, there's BA law, and then there's BCom law, which is an undergrad degree, and then there's an LLB. An LLB is 2 degrees in one covering. I would say it's an undergrad and an honors. So when I graduate here, I won't have to go and do honors because already I'm doing an honors degree. When I graduate, I can only go and do masters and then a PhD. I hope you understand. Sorry for my lighting. There's load shedding, so I couldn't get proper lighting. I'm just using natural lighting. Okay, so these are the modules that I'm doing this year. These are the modules that I did on my first year and the ones that I did on my second year and the ones that I'm doing now. Yeah, as I just said, I'm doing 10 modules, which is, yeah, we will pass though by the grace of God. So in my first semester, I did ILW 1501, which is Introduction to Law. A lot of students are complaining about this module, which is very much understandable. It's one of the easiest modules, but don't have the mentality of it's easy, I'm just gonna pass it. You have to make sure that you study it and you know the content, because it actually introduces each and every other module that you'll be doing from your second year, third year, and fourth year. Yeah, it's a prerequisite, and which means that if you fail it, you won't be able to continue to the next year until you pass it. So let's say you pass all your modules and then you fail it, you're going to wait to not really waste, but it will be wasted. Academic year will be wasted. You're going to have to spend the whole semester doing only one module until you pass it, and then you can move to the next semester. The other module that I did was SJD 1501, which is Social Justice Dimensions. It was an online module. There was no textbook for it. Same applies to Introduction to Law. There's no textbook to it. And then the other module that I did was PVL 1501, which is Law of Persons. And then I did FAC 1501, which is Financial Accounting Principles for Law Students, which is one of the modules that I'm doing now. I did it on my first year. I didn't really get good marks, so I'm doing it now because I've realized that it's one of the modules that you have to know, especially when you get to when you get to practice. Yeah, so I'm doing it now. Don't take a chance and say right to passing a 50%. We don't need 50%. You need to make sure that you pass so that you can get a job that pays well, so that when you do your articles, you will get paid well. By the way, I think I should do a video whereby I tell on the different companies that are there and what they expect of you. I'm gonna do that. And then I did HFL 1501, which is Historical Foundations of South African Law. And then on my second semester, I did CMY, which is Introduction to Law. I did PLS 1501, one of the modules that I enjoyed, but I got to study it very late, and I think if I started it earlier, I would have enjoyed it more. You know, like I started studying it towards the exams. And I did PLS 1501 is African Philosophy. And then I did SCL 1501. I enjoyed it because I got to go to court to observe and to do my assignment there. Not that I wasn't going to court. I've always been going to the court with my mentor, but this time I actually went to court to do an assignment, you know, like to just do my schoolwork, and it was so awesome. And I also met a lawyer there who helped me with schoolwork. He explained the calculation part in SCL, and shout out to him. So the other one is AFL 1501, which is language through an African lens. And then I did IRM, Introduction to Research Methodology. This is one of the modules that you have to know and pass. It teaches, as a law student, like you need to know this module because it's going to help you. It teaches you on how to reference. It teaches you on how to study a case. It teaches you research on a whole. Like you have to know it, because if you decide to go and do your master's or PhD, this is literally the foundation of it. Like, because it just teaches you on how to do research and how to check, how to reference on cases and all of that. And then and then I went to my second year. Now my second year was stressful, it was draining, it was, yeah, I passed by the will of God. Literally, I passed by God. If it wasn't for God, I would have failed. I received my study material 2 weeks before my exams. I received them 2 weeks before my exams. There was a delay because of COVID. Students had to now start adjust to learning online, writing their exams online. So it was just something else. I was so stressed out, I was freaking out, and a part of me blames myself, because when you are a student, you need to make sure that you use other alternatives to get your study material. But I was just waiting for hard copies, my study material from school, and it got to a point where, like, 2 weeks exams, and I haven't prepared. I just so yeah, I received them 2 weeks before my exams, and then for 1 week out of that 2 weeks, I was stressing out, I was freaking out, I didn't know what to do. I was touching my books, studying, but not understanding anything, until I just prayed and asked God that, God, please help me. Please help me. And then he gave me a study routine, which, by the way, it's one of the study routines that I will share here, and I know that it will help other students. I know God says he knew us before we were even born, which means that he knows our strengths and our weaknesses. So he gave me a study routine that he knew that would fit my personality. He knew that it would fit me. So if I tell you, then it might help you, but it also might not help you. Just because I'm telling you a study routine doesn't mean that it's going to help you. But I will post other alternatives that are going to be able to help you, so that you can pass your exams. And then 1 week, I did that. I remember with some of the modules, I would like study it today whilst I'm writing tomorrow for the first time, but I passed all of them. If I had started earlier, I would have gotten my A's, but I started later and I got C's, which is, for 1 week, some of the modules I studied them one day. Like, that's, other people get 0, but I got like my C's. Like, I think I got C's and I got 1B, which is, I thank God it wasn't a fail. It wasn't like getting an F. And then the modules that I did was ADL 2601, which is Administrative Law. I did CSL 2601, Constitutional Law. A lot of students are complaining about this module. I don't know why. I enjoyed it, even though I studied it at night before my exams, and I was still able to pass it. By the way, I'm not saying you should go and study a night before your exam and then think that God is going to help you. Don't do things on purpose. God doesn't play like that. He doesn't. Don't do that. Start studying early. I was forced by a situation, but now I've learned my lesson. And then I did MRL 2601, which is Entrepreneur Law, one of the modules that I told myself that I wasn't going to write. I was never going to write it. Like, I wasn't going to write it. But when you're a child of God and you trust in God, I was like, you know what, God, I'm just gonna write it and I'm gonna believe in you, and I was able to pass it. So praise be to God. And then I did PVL 2601, which is Family Law. I did CRW 2601, which is Criminal Law, General Principles. There's 2 criminal laws. The other one I'm doing it now. So the General Principles gives you the foundation of criminal law, and then the one that I'm doing now is actually getting deep into it, but let me just continue. So I did them and I passed them. And then the ones that I'm doing now, the modules that I'm doing now, I'm doing FAC 1501. As I did say, I got lower marks, so I had to do it again just to make sure that I pass it well. And then I'm doing PVL 2602, which is law of succession. I love it so much, especially the calculations. I love it. And then I'm doing CRW 2602, which is another criminal law. Just as I say that the first criminal law is a foundation, and then this one is specific crimes. I would suggest, if you are Unisa students and you want to choose between the two, I'll suggest that you do 2601 first, which is the general principles, because it gives you the foundation of criminal law. And then this one, the second one, it gives you it just gets deep into the specific crimes, because it is specific crime. The specific crimes like rape, murder, assault, all of those things. Yeah. And I'm doing IOS 2601, which is interpretation of statutes. It goes hand in hand with constitutional law. So when you study it, you might want to just go back to your constitutional law books and just check if you still haven't done it. If you are doing constitutional law now, I'd suggest that you get so much context on it. And then I'm doing IND 2601, which is African customary law. And then I'm doing FUR 2601, fundamental right. And then I'm doing MRL 3701, which is insolvency law. It goes hand in hand with entrepreneur law. And then I'm doing MRL 3702, labor law. I'm doing CIV 3701, which is civil procedure. And then I'm doing, I don't know, civil procedure. A lot of people are complaining about it. I don't see any challenge on it. Can I just give you an advice? Let me just finish here quickly. And then I'm doing CPR 3701, criminal procedure. All of these modules that I've just mentioned, just because I say people are complaining about them doesn't mean that they are going to be a challenge on you. You need to believe in yourself. Just because a majority of people are saying this module is so difficult doesn't mean that it's going to be difficult on you. Don't take that mentality and say, oh my word, it's going to be difficult, because it is going to be difficult. But if you tell yourself that, oh, it's difficult for them, fine, let me just put in much effort and try to pass, then you will be able to pass it. Don't use that mentality of people saying, oh, this module is so difficult, this subject is so difficult. Don't play like that. Don't do that, because I've actually realized that majority of people can actually overpower just the minority. So you need to make sure that you don't listen to what people are saying. So I try to make this video short. These are the modules that I'm doing. I hope that there's if you're doing your first year at Unisa, then these are going to be able to help you. And also, I do know that Vert has law of persons. Every university has introduction to law, because you need to know what you're studying, so you need to get the introduction of it. So if you want to get calculations or help, the calculations that I know are the calculations for skills course, and then the other calculations that I know are the calculations for family law and law of succession. They go hand in hand. So it's the accrual calculations where they deal with the interstate. Sorry if someone else is watching this and doesn't understand. It has to do with inheritance and the wills and the calculations of money, who inherits how much, what. It has to do with that. I know those calculations, and if you need any help, like I did say, please follow me on Instagram and then DM me and tell me which question that you have, so that I can be able to help you. Thank you so much for watching thus far. If you have any question, like I just say, Instagram or comment down below, and then I will be able to help you. I will try as much as I can to answer your questions. Another thing, no, there's nothing. Yeah, please share with other people, because I'm willing to help as much people as I can. So if you share and a lot of people keep on subscribing and asking questions, I know that it won't only help you. There's other students who are still in either grade 11, grade 12, and they will also want to study law, and they know that these study routines or whatever question that you'll be asking will also help them. So please, I'm begging you, please share with other people. Don't be selfish. Share with other people. Subscribe if you haven't subscribe. Comment down below, like and share, and press on the notification bell, so that every time I post a video you will be able to get a notification. Thank you so much for watching. The next video that I'll be posting will be a study routine. Unisa students, you are right, we're starting our exams next month. I'm so pissed, by the way, because I thought, well, I know that we had to write from October to November, November, and if the latest it's December, but then now we're writing September. Angazi nami ukuthi where does that come from? But anyway, you can't fight the school system, you know. So yeah, good luck on the exams to everyone who has already started with the exams. I wish you the best, and please study. Don't procrastinate, because procrastination won't help you in anything. Please study. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.